Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We're starting in 1 minute. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, welcome to Armenia and to the 5th Emergency Medical Team's Global Meeting.
Seventh of December, 1988, the Spitak earthquake hit Armenia. "113 countries sent humanitarian aid to the Soviet Union, including rescue equipment, search teams and medical supplies." 12th of January, 2010. A catastrophic 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck Haiti. Despite the unprecedented international response, the lack of coordination urged WHO and partners to set standards and establish a coordination mechanism for foreign medical teams. May 2011. WHO creates a new work stream to prepare for and respond to health emergencies using an all-hazards approach. December 2011. The first working group on FMTs worked to develop registration procedures and minimum quality standards for the teams. May 2013. The WHO classification and minimum standards for emergency medical teams are released. November 2013. WHO standards are successfully used for the first time during the Super Typhoon Haiyan Philippines response, with 151 medical teams deployed and coordinated in the response. July 2014, WHO mobilized EMTs for the Ebola outbreak in West Africa with 58 teams deployed over the course of the multi-year response. January 2020. Before the novel coronavirus outbreak is declared as a public health emergency of international concern, WHO issues an alert to mobilize teams in response to what would become the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2021, the classification and minimum standards for emergency medical teams was updated with a much stronger focus on developing national emergency medical teams, shifting the focus from international teams. That same year, a guidance document for EMTs in armed conflicts and insecure environments was also launched. 2020 to 2021. Over the course of the first 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic, over 1,000 national and international EMTs were surged in to provide hands-on support where most needed. Since February 2022, since the beginning of war in Ukraine, EMTs have operated to provide health services, support the health system and help build Ukrainian EMT response capacity. Emergency medical teams provide direct clinical care to people affected by emergencies. All team members are fully trained, have the skills appropriate for the situation, and bring with them their own equipment and supplies. Since the inception of the EMT initiative, 4 global meetings have been held to foster collaboration and support from individual teams, member states and partners of the network. Development of the Armenian Emergency Response Medical Team started in 2021 under the leadership of the Ministry of Health of the Republic of Armenia and remains a priority to the country. The EMT Strategy 2030 aims to strengthen national EMT surge and rapid response capacities as part of global health emergency preparedness, response, and resilience architecture.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, good morning. Since the last global meeting in 2019, the initiative and its network have made great progress, making this meeting in 2022 an important for member states and to take stock of what has been accomplished, build on lessons learned, and launch the EMT 2030 strategy. To contribute this effort for the next 3 days, you will explore 3 major themes: emergency response, technical standards and research, and capacity building. Your Excellencies, for the opening speech, I would like to invite the Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia, Mr. Hambartsum Matevosyan, on the stage. Please give a warm welcome.
Madam Minister, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to welcome you in Armenia on the occasion of the 5th Emergency Medical Team's Global Meeting. This important event that convenes more than 500 participants from all over the world provides a good opportunity to address the challenges we have collectively faced over the past 2.5 years, as well as to exchange views on overall potential of EMTs in tackling the ever-growing challenges around the globe. This is indeed an excellent platform to reflect on what we have achieved so far and define the new milestone for strengthening national capacities in shaping the global health architecture. The COVID-19 pandemic has severely hit the countries worldwide, creating unprecedented challenges to public health, economic, and social development. When the world was struggling to contain and combat the pandemic, Armenia had to face a dual shock due to Azerbaijan's aggression against Nagorno-Karabakh. The twin crises further stretched the medical resources necessary to fight against COVID-19, and healthcare workers in Armenia were forced to navigate between the war and the pandemic, which resulted in excessive burnout of the medical personnel. Moreover, Azerbaijan's recent military aggression against the sovereign territory of Armenia, deliberate targeting of the civilian population and infrastructure, including ambulances and health facilities, once again stresses the importance of building up national capacities for emergency preparedness and response. The challenges that we have been facing throughout last years shed light on the importance of the collective actions by all countries to ensure concerted, unified, and sustainable response to all public health emergencies. It is our collective duty to adapt to the ever-changing world so that we can tackle any health emergency that may arise in the future. This is why Armenia has committed itself to establishing EMTs and becoming an integral part of the global EMT network. Dear colleagues, throughout this period we have received substantial support from our international partners. This support has come in different forms, from assistance by emergency medical teams to provision of necessary medical equipment and supplies. And I want to take this opportunity to thank the World Health Organization for its continued support to Armenia, particularly over the past 2.5 years. We are confident that it is in close partnership with WHO we will continue progressing towards our healthcare targets. Once again, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to Armenia for the 5th Emergency Medical Team's Global Meeting. Despite the delays due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this initiative remains essential for the continuously growing and diverse community of EMT providers, member states, and network providers to review what we have accomplished and build on lessons learned. Let me conclude my address by offering my deep respect to all healthcare workers who put themselves at risk to protect others during the challenging times, and my appreciation to all of you for your commitment to partnership towards a healthier and safer world. Thank you, and wish everyone a productive discussion.
Thank you very much. And now, if we could draw everyone's attention to the screen as we hear the opening speech of the Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, please.
Dear colleagues and friends, it's my honor to welcome you to the Emergency Medical Team's Global Meeting. I thank the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Health of the Republic of Armenia for hosting this very important meeting. The COVID-19 pandemic and increasing numbers of other emergencies around the world have highlighted the need for well-trained and properly equipped emergency medical teams. Since the pandemic began, emergency medical teams have played a vital role in supporting countries to prevent infections, treat the sick, and save lives. As we build a new and stronger architecture for health emergency preparedness and response, a rapidly deployable global health emergency corps will be vital, building on the experience and capacities of emergency medical teams. At this meeting, you will discuss what is needed for this health emergency workforce of the future, with strong teams ready to mobilize rapidly nationally, regionally, and globally. The EMT 2030 strategy envisions a world in which every country has the ability to respond rapidly and effectively to national emergencies, leveraging regional and sub-regional capacities to support vulnerable communities and others in need. Thank you all for your commitment to keeping the world safe. I wish you a fruitful discussion.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we have with us joining remotely from Copenhagen, WHO Regional Director for Europe, Dr. Hans Kluge, to deliver his welcome speech on behalf of the region. Dr. Hans, hello. You can start your speech. Thank you.
Good morning. Can I start? Do you hear me clear? Thank you. Excellencies, honorable guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Bari Galost, welcome to the 5th WHO Global EMT meeting, and the first to be held in the WHO European region that covers 53 countries across Europe and Central Asia, including the Republic of Armenia. It is no exaggeration to say that we live and work at a time of unprecedented, overlapping emergencies. We call it a perma-crisis. In our region alone, we are responding simultaneously to COVID-19, monkeypox, a devastating war in Ukraine which shows no signs of de-escalation, and an increasing number of vaccine-derived poliomyelitis virus type 2 outbreaks. And this together with constant reminders of the climate crisis, including, most recently, devastating wildfires triggered by extreme summertime heat. No organization on its own can respond to emergencies of this scale. That's why we call upon member states and other stakeholders to work even more closely together to further strengthen emergency preparedness and response capacities, including essential partnership mechanisms such as emergency medical teams. The Republic of Armenia serves not only as host for our meeting this week, but it also provides an excellent example of this collaboration. Following the support it received during the pandemic, the government prioritized the development of its national EMT program and the integration of EMTs into the health system, not just supporting domestic needs, but also increasingly those of other countries in the region, such as Georgia. On behalf of WHO Europe, allow me to sincerely thank the government of Armenia, including the Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, Deputy Prime Minister Hambardzum Matevosyan, and my very good friend, the Minister of Health, Dr. Anahit Avanesyan a great health minister for which I have a tremendous respect. And I want to thank them for the strategic direction taken and the cross-country partnerships. Since the last global EMT meeting in 2019, before the pandemic struck, this initiative and its network, both globally and regionally, have made significant strides and learned valuable lessons. Based on our collective experiences, we have identified 3 important priorities that feed into our strategy, EMT 2030, to carry us forward. First priority, developing localized EMTs and integrating them into national public health systems. This will both strengthen domestic and sub-regional preparedness and response. The WHO-supported EMT response to the war in Ukraine proves the importance and impact of this approach. 3 EMT coordination cells have been established in Ukraine, Moldova, and Poland, supporting intensive local and sub-regional operations and coordinating with over 60 global organizations and other partners in the field. Since the 24th of February of this year, I have personally taken the leadership in the response operations in Ukraine within WHO globally. And Monday, for the 4th time this year, I will go to the field with my good friend, the Minister of Health of Ukraine, Dr. Viktor Lashko. The second priority, ensuring a truly flexible and interoperable response. More than 2 years of COVID-19, along with more recent complex emergencies, have shown the need to refocus and diversify the EMT initiative to be even more fit for purpose for future challenges. We need an agile and flexible network to meet the demands of ever-evolving and emerging hazards, from outbreaks and armed conflict to refugee crises and challenges posed by climate change. And the third priority, developing and leveraging practical new technologies to digitalize the EMT response in the field. The European region is already working on developing a knowledge and information management emergency platform, KIMEP. Digital tools to be shared with the EMT community and partners globally. And we encourage other regions to contribute to this important work. My dear friends, our vision for EMT 2030 in the European region is to achieve high-quality, patient-centered, flexible, and accessible health services in emergencies. To accomplish this, we must continue our own evolution as a dynamic and informed workforce, grounded in collaboration and innovation. I wish us all a very fruitful meeting in beautiful Yerevan, a city so close to my heart. Snor halak tuinyun. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kluge. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to draw everyone's attention back to the stage, and I would like all to join me in welcoming the Executive Director of the World Health Organization Health Emergencies Program, Dr. Mike Ryan, on the stage.
Thank you, everyone. Very hard to follow those dancers and Dr. Tedros and Dr. Kluge. Good morning, Hans, if you're still online. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Vice Prime Minister Matt Bjortsen and Minister of Health Abedesen, and distinguished guests and participants. It's amazing turnout. I think over 110 countries coming together to discuss these hugely important issues. Here in Yerevan, wonderful, beautiful Yerevan in Armenia. It's an impressive event already, and I'm sure we'll get more impressive. I have a lot of prepared remarks, but Tedros and Hans have really spoken to the key issues, and they've thanked you on behalf of WHO and the international community. But I think my thanks today to you has to come from the people that you serve. I'm just back from Pakistan, and I have never in my life witnessed the scale of the devastation. A climate catastrophe. When we say we may have climate change in 20 years, it's here. And the poorest of the poor and the most vulnerable people in the world are paying the price for our climate irresponsibility, our climate inaction, not climate action. Conflict is growing. Epidemics are increasing in frequency. For the first time ever, WHO has 50 graded emergencies on our books at one time. Ever more complex, intertwined disasters. It's interesting when we look at the logo for the EMTs and that little line that makes the M and goes out the other side. We saw it here earlier. That is a thin blue line. You are the thin blue line. You are the line between life and death. You're the line between fear and reassurance. You're the line that brings hope. The people in the worst of situations who bring the best of standards. Not best effort, not do-gooding, but the highest professional standards to the worst possible situations. This is an incredible commitment. People in your movements, people in this initiative, people in your organizations who leave their families, leave safety behind, locally, nationally, or internationally, and go to the aid of the people most at risk in the world. You should reflect today, look around, and thank everyone sitting to your right, everyone sitting to your left, for what you do. I want to thank our teams who work on that, Flafio, Chantal, the whole team. Those of you in UNDAC, those of you in Gorn, those of you in the health cluster, those of you in INSARAG, and all the other partners who work to bring together professional response in the worst of situations. The EMTs is a very robust professional system. It brings something quite unique to the global health emergency preparedness architecture. It brings standards. It brings professionalism. It brings reliability. It brings scalability. And it brings the ability to rapidly go where the problem is. That can't be done without planning. That can't be done without training. It's only I think we find this in most emergencies, and I trained on both sides. I trained on the clinical side and finished my training in public health. So I've straddled both of these worlds for 25 years. And it's incredible in an emergency, even in our own lives, in an emergency. We revert to muscle memory. We revert to automatic behavior. And therefore, it's so important when we face a crisis situation that we have those internal processes, that we can act and react in a predictable and organized fashion. And it takes time to build that into ourselves. It takes time to build that into our systems, to make them reliable and responsive to the people who we serve. We don't serve institutions, we don't serve governments, we don't serve international organizations. We serve people, and you represent the best of that in the world right now. And therefore, EMT initiative needs to be a really strong part, not only of achieving your own goals as a network and as a platform, but in driving a new health emergency preparedness and response architecture for the world. EMTs is a very important part of that, as are our partners in Gorn, the health cluster, and others. I will finish my remarks just by saying again, once again, thank you. It's a very exciting time for the EMT initiative. It's an exciting time for WHO. It's a privilege and an honor for WHO to host the Secretariat. Particular thanks to the Strategic Advisory Group, to Leonard Notaris and the team who continue to bring the high-quality strategic thinking and advice and guide and steer our collective work together. So with that, I will say thank you, good luck with the meeting. And again, not thank you from me or WHO, you've heard those thank yous from our senior people, but thank you from the people who we all try to serve. Those people today, all around the world, who need our help. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ryan. And now let us turn to the EMT network leadership. Please welcome the WHO Global EMT Strategic Advisor Group Chair and Executive Director of the National Critical Care and Trauma Response Centre of Australia, Professor Leonard Notaras.
Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Deputy Prime Minister, Health Minister, Deputy Health Minister, Excellencies, representatives of all nations, and indeed the people of the Republic of Armenia, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you, Dr. Ryan. Those important remarks are essential, as to the remarks of Dr. Tedros as well. As chair of the Strategic Advisory Group, I'd like to add my own welcome to this landmark event, 2022 Global Meeting here in beautiful Armenia. Since the global initiative started, and since our last meeting, particularly in 2019, the world has changed greatly. We've had the pandemic and we've had a lot of other incidents and issues arising. In the past 3 years, we've seen teams across the world reach capacity responding at all times to all types of hazards, from natural sudden onset disasters to large-scale displacement crises, from complex emergencies to, of course, the many different variations of public health events. And of course, as Mike has just mentioned, Dr. Ryan, climate change and its insidious and horrendous impact. COVID-19 pandemic saw the rise of specialised teams being utilised in new and flexible manners for a range of advisory and indeed support service roles in the clinical setting. Never before have we seen this versatile and innovative response. In preparedness and readiness, we have continued to improve our systems at global, regional and country levels. And we take a broad approach to these incredible challenges that we are now confronting. Never has EMT been more relevant as a building block for preparedness and response. Colleagues, you've journeyed from around the world, and as Dr. Ryan said, from so many parts of the world, taking so long to get here at times. But it is worth it. It is well worth it, going towards the 2023 initiative and indeed the 2030 strategic plan. As we officially open the meeting, let me thank our hosts, the government of the Republic of Armenia, because without them and without their incredible support, we wouldn't be here today. As well, as Dr. Ryan said, let me thank Flavio, Chantel and the EMT Secretariat, having done wonderful things. But if I say nothing else that you take home as a message, remember the importance of partnerships. Remember the importance of consistency, capacity, capability. Remember the importance of communication. Remember, it is important to have appropriate and credible responses, and this is what EMT strives for. And there is just one more C that I'd like to put in there, and that is never forget compassion. Compassion remains a benchmark, a plank that we can't move away from. Finally, I'd like to thank every institution and partner involved in this particular meeting. This is an opportunity to share. It's an opportunity to share not just the successes, not just the achievements, but also the opportunities to change and grow. Ultimately, we are here to make a difference. And this is just one step in the wonderful journey that is and will continue to be EMT. Again, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Allow me to call to the stage the Emergency Medical Teams Network leader, Dr. Flavio Salio, to welcome you all and give a quick overview of the evolution of the EMT initiative and the vital role of the EMTs in the health emergency workforce. Mr. Dr. Flavio Salio.
Good morning, everyone. Finally, actually, we made it. Very glad to be here. Mr. Avanesian, distinguished guests, many friends that I met already this morning, and as well greetings to colleagues that unfortunately could not join us in person because are responding to current emergencies worldwide. In the last year, we have seen and we come together to respond as a network. We have achieved so many things together, thanks to your commitment, professionalism, and obviously having you here today show all of that. Your belief in the initiative allow us to move forward and standing here together. It would be important 3 days to discuss the future of the initiative and what we started already during the last few years. We have seen since the beginning of the pandemic around a bit more than 200 international teams. They have responded to the call from the different countries, provided the support based on the request received by the country themselves. When we look only to the Americas, we have over 300 national teams that have risen to the challenge of the pandemic, and they serve, as mentioned by previous speakers, and in particular I would say Mike, to responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. As said, the COVID-19 pandemic was definitely a catalyst for the initiative. We have seen a variety of deployments and activities that show us the need for greater flexibility, and as well as spark interest and international solidarity across the network and countries. This was the very early stage of the pandemic when you have been able to mobilize despite the all differences and difficulties, logistic challenges. It's been reminded this morning as well that outside of the current pandemic, we do have many other emergencies worldwide. The role of the specialized care team, it's becoming live in the last year, and we see, for example, the response of the Senegal teams to the Sierra Leone following the blast. So it's definitely something that is a different modality that we are looking to explore in the near future. But supporting as well from international to national allow actually to identify the appropriate solution for the need of the countries and based as well on the context. EMT, as we heard this morning, responded as well to non-conventional emergency, and like conflict, in which was not as core of the initiative from the beginning. We mentioned about Ukraine, and we allow actually to advance the establishment of new standards and practices, especially in the context of pre-hospital services and medical evacuations. This is the example of Euro, in which we have allowed movement of more than 1,000 patients. We have mentioned as well the importance of investing in national and sub-national teams. We have witnessed and increased capacities at national level. The example here is of Tonga, deployed in response to a volcano tsunami eruptions, and is a perfect example of the need to invest in a country capacity, no matter how small, when a country chooses to prioritize and invest in their own local workforce and system. We have witnessed as well in the last period the expansion of new area for the EMT initiative itself. The World Cup in 2022, hosted by Qatar, fostered a partnership between FIFA, Qatar, and WHO. As part of this unique opportunity, the initiative has contributed to a new area, as I mentioned before, particularly in the part of the medical planning for mass guarding events, as well as mass casualty. The EMT network is largely focused today on a classification system for international teams. We currently have 37 teams classified, representing almost 19,000 people that have been trained and are ready to be mobilized at the request of affected countries. We are reminded as well that outside of the 37, we still have more than 100 teams in the classification process. So if we do a short math, we can see how large is the network today. At last, the last 3 days will present a great opportunity to look forward and embrace the future for the initiative. I would like to invite each and every one of you to be ambitious during these 3 days, to seek opportunity to expand the scope of the EMT initiative, as well as enhance the role of the EMT as a core component of the health emergency workforce. I'm sure we will have plenty of discussion in the next 3 days, and looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go for the coffee or tea break, which you prefer, I would like to invite you all for the official photo outside on the steps of the Convention Center. And with this, the 5th Emergency Medical Teams Global Meeting is open. Thank you very much for being here and wishing you fruitful days. Thank you.